The old guard of the NBA has dominated at the highest level for a very long time, but this postseason we finally started to see a bit of a changing of the guard, with quite a few squads led by younger stars on the rise, making deep runs demonstrating that the future of the NBA is still very bright when the old guard eventually retires. That brings us to today's video, where we will be taking a look at the young stars of the game, ranking the top 25 players under the age of 25 years old. The ranking is based on a combination of how good these players are right now, and how good I think they will be moving forward based on the potential that they have shown pertaining to who teams would want to have long term. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting at number 25 and working our way up to that number 1 spot, we have Keegan Murray of the Sacramento Kings. Murray has already established himself as a reliable, team-first, two-way role player who takes a high volume of threes and has proven he can bury you from deep, shooting 38% from three for his career. He moves well without the ball and he defends hard, doing whatever is asked of him in the Kings lineup. Next at number 24, we have Devin Vassell of the San Antonio Spurs. In every single one of Vassell's 4 seasons in the NBA, he's come back better than he was the previous year, showing that he's got the work ethic to be a key cog in an NBA lineup for a long time. He came in as a sharpshooting wing, who is now someone who comfortably also attacks off the dribble and is a solid secondary scoring threat to have alongside Victor Wembanyama. Next at number 23, we have Brandon Miller of the Charlotte Hornets. Miller's rookie season was spectacular last year, scoring an efficient 17 points per game, showing off more shot creation skills than initially advertised, and establishing himself as a key cog in the Hornets' long-term future. He also brings a level of competitive spirit that had been missing in Charlotte for a while, and should play a big part in helping change that losing culture. Next at number 22, we have Naz Reid of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Reid is the reigning 6th Man of the Year winner, and if he wasn't on a team with 2 dominant big men like Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, he would easily be a starting center in the NBA. Reid is such a unique big man who plays like a wing player, knocking down 40% of his threes and possessing impressive creation skills off the dribble, making him a tough mismatch for other centers. Next at number 21, we have Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets. Jalen Green's 3 years in the NBA have come with some incredibly impressive highs, but even more frustrating lows, making it tough to truly tell what kind of player he's going to be long term. He's shown the ability to score with the best of the best, but his long stretches of questionable decision making, poor shot selection, struggles on defense, and inefficiency make it difficult to trust him in regards to ranking him any higher. Next at number 20, we have Jonathan Kuminga of the Golden State Warriors. Kuminga is coming off of a huge breakout 3rd season, which should kickstart things for him in a big way moving forward. He's a superb athlete who came into the league with a pretty raw skill set and has developed into a deadly slasher and finisher at the basket with really solid footwork in the post, and his versatile defense balances out any lineup that he's in. Next at number 19, we have RJ Barrett of the Toronto Raptors. Barrett has been someone who can give you about 20 points per game on average efficiency for a few years now, and while his ceiling is starting to look a bit lower than some of his other peers on this list, his floor is also much higher, and at minimum, he's a productive secondary scoring threat. Up next at number 18, we have Tyler Hero of the Miami Heat. Hero's career has also had quite a few highs and lows, helping the Heat make a few deep playoff runs, but then simultaneously constantly finding himself in trade rumors every summer. Hero's dealt with a few injuries that have halted some of the momentum he's built as a scoring talent, but at full strength, he has shown that he can hit big timely shots and take over in a go-to role for stretches. He just needs to be more consistent with it. Next at number 17, we have Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. Wagner needs to continue working to improve as an outside shooter, but he played a huge role in helping Orlando get back to the playoffs this year after a few seasons of rebuilding. He's a terrific slasher and finisher at the basket who maneuvers well in the painted area, he makes good decisions on the ball, and he just signed a big max contract extension showing that the Magic believe in his star potential. Next at number 16, we have Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mobley is already one of the best defensive talents in the NBA at 23 years of age, anchoring Cleveland's stout unit on that end as a switchable, rim-protecting stopper. He uses his length tremendously to contest shots inside and out, and he moves well on his feet to rotate with good timing. He does just need to continue evolving on the offensive end to really maximize his potential. Next at number 15, we have Darius Garland of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Garland has already been named an all-star in his career, but he's coming off of a bit of a down year, struggling to fully mesh with backcourt mate Donovan Mitchell. When he gets to play freely, he's a very crafty playmaker and three-level scorer with a natural feel for making plays off the dribble, but when his confidence isn't there, he struggles to assert himself. Next, at number 14, we have Chet Holmgren of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Holmgren's rookie season this year was a resounding success, immediately helping the Thunder rise to the top of the Western Conference, giving them an elite shot-blocking presence inside, while also spacing the floor as a stretch big man. As he continues to bulk up with time and experience, he'll continue to improve on both ends of the floor, and should be a multiple-time member of the All-Defense team throughout his career by the end of it. Up next at number 13, we have Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Jalen Williams' development seems to be coming at warp speed, as he's already looking like a star in the making 2 years in as a stout defender who can also play the 2, 3, or 4 on offense comfortably. He's incredibly efficient, scoring about 19 points per game, knocking down 42% of his threes. As a secondary ball handler and passer, he makes great decisions on the ball and finds the open man when a look is there, and he's doing it all on a legit contender, proving his worth in a winning environment. Next, at number 12, we have Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons. Cunningham is one of the very few bright spots on a lowly Pistons team. The former number 1 overall pick hasn't had the smoothest ride so far in his career, dealing with a few injuries, poor coaching, and bad lineups around him, but he's still a 23-point-per-game scorer who also dishes out about 8 assists per game, and would look even better with more talented teammates around him. Next at number 11, we have Alperen Sengun of the Houston Rockets. Sengun has been compared to Nikola Jokic a ton early in his career for good reason, because his skill set looks eerily similar to what Jokic was doing early in his career. Sengun has post moves for days down low as a scorer, putting up about 21 points per game. He's an outstanding passing talent for a center, and his production across the board looks every bit like a future all-star. Now, to start off the top 10, we have LaMelo Ball of the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo has been oozing with talent and potential since his rookie season, but what has held him back constantly is his inability to stay healthy. He's played less than half of each of the last 2 seasons, but when he's on the court, he's a triple-double threat who scores 24 points per game and dishes out about 8 assists, filling it up in a plethora of ways. Next at number 9, we have Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren is already a Defensive Player of the Year winner in his young career, proving he's one of the truly elite defensive talents the league has to offer. He's led the league in blocks twice, he's so good at getting a strong contest to any shot in his vicinity, and he's coming off of a year averaging about 23 points per game too, taking strides forward as a self-sufficient scoring talent. Next, at number 8, we have Scottie Barnes of the Toronto Raptors. Barnes' 3rd season saw a ton of improvement, where he's now the kind of player that can genuinely give you a little bit of everything. He was an all-star this year behind averages of 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, and his versatility is firmly at the heart of what the Raptors want to build moving forward. Next, at number 7, we have Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic. In 2 seasons since being the number 1 overall pick in the draft, Banchero has somehow flown under the radar as one of the best forwards in the game already, leading the Magic back to the playoffs as their number 1 option. He's a big-bodied, strong scorer inside, putting up 23 points per game, while also grabbing 7 rebounds and dishing out 5 assists per game, doing a little bit of everything for a young and hungry squad looking to start making some noise in the Eastern Conference. Next, at number 6, we have Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans. This year was the first time Zion stayed relatively healthy throughout the entire regular season, and he was meshing really well with the Pelicans as they started to look dangerous when the playoffs were approaching. But then the injury bug struck him at the worst possible time, causing him to miss their playoff series. When healthy, Zion is one of the most dangerous interior scorers in the entire NBA, but health will always be what holds him back. Next at number 5, we have Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers. Maxey has come back every season, improving in a big way, and is coming off of an all-star season where he scored 26 points per game and had some explosive outings in the playoffs against the Knicks as well. His blazing speed, ability to create space off the dribble, and his lethal perimeter shooting make him one of the most promising young stars in the NBA today. Next at number 4, we have Tyrese Haliburton of the Indiana Pacers. Haliburton was orchestrating the NBA's second best offense this year, setting up everything around him and constantly pushing the pace. He led the NBA in assists per game this year, while also scoring an efficient 20 points per game. He was named an All-Star for a second consecutive season, and he capped it off, leading the Pacers to the conference finals this year too. Next at number 3, we have Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies. Morant's season was a bit of a wash due to suspension and injury, but he'll be getting back to his dominant self this year to remind everyone why he's one of the best guards in the NBA right now. Morant is a walking highlight reel who was putting up about 26 points and 8 assists per game, leading the Grizzlies to back-to-back 2 seeds finishes in the West before all of this happened. Next at number 2, we have Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're really starting to see the maturation and evolvement of Anthony Edwards over the last year, having led his Timberwolves team to the conference finals behind some truly stellar scoring performances, and now he's balling out with Team USA, establishing himself as the next great guard in the league. And finally, at number 1 on our list for the top 25 talents under 25 in the NBA, we have Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs. Some may call this a premature crowning for him at number 1, but Wemby's rapid development over the course of his rookie season should yield even greater results in year 2 coming up, and from there, the sky is literally the limit with his potential. He's simply one of the most unique talents the game has ever seen, and I'm confident that all 30 NBA teams would take him over every other young talent moving forward. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about where these players rank. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.